Chapter 5. Baba's return with Chand Patel's marriage party. Welcomed and addressed as Sai. Contact with other saints. His dress and daily routine. The story of the Padukas. Wrestling bout with Mohadin and change in life. Turning water into oil. The pseudo Guru Jawahar Ali. Return with Chand Patel's marriage party. As hinted in the last chapter, I shall now describe first how Sai Baba returned to Shirdi after his disappearance. There lived in Aurangabad district, Nizam state, in a village called Dhoop, a well to do Mohammedan gentleman by name Chand Patel. While he was making a trip to Aurangabad, he lost his mare. For 2 long months he made a diligent search but could not get no trace of the lost man. After being disappointed, he returned from Aurangabad with the saddle on his back. After traveling 4 course and a half, he came on a way to a mango tree under the foot of which sat a Ratna, queer fellow. He had a cap on his head, wore kafani, a long robe, had a sakka, short stick under his armpit, and he was preparing to smoke a chilm, a pipe. On seeing Chand Patel passes by the way, he called out to him and asked him to have a smoke and to rest a little. The fakir asked him about the saddle. Chand Patel replied that it was his mare which was lost. The queer fellow or fakir asked him to make a search in the nala close by. He went, and the wonder of wonders, he found the mare. He thought that this fakir was not an ordinary man, but an avaliya, a great saint. He returned to the fakir with the mare. The chilm was ready for being smoked, but two things were wanting. One, fire to light the pipe, and two, water to wet the chapi, the piece of cloth through which smoke is drawn upon. The fakir took his prong and thrust it forcibly into the ground, and out came a live burning coal, which he put on the pipe. Then he dashed the satka on the ground, from whence water began to ooze. The chapi was wetted with that water, was then wrung out and wrapped around the pipe. Thus, everything being complete, the fakir smoked the chilm and gave it also to Chand Patel. On seeing all this, Chand Patel was wonderstruck. He requested the fakir to come to his home and accept his hospitality. Next day, he went to Patel's house and stayed there for some time. The Patel was a village officer of Dup. His wife's brother's son was to be married, and the bride was from Shirdi. So, Patel made preparations to start for Shirdi for the marriage. The fakir also accompanied the marriage party. The marriage went well off without any hitch. The party returned to Dhub, except the fakir alone stayed in Shirdi and remained there forever. How the fakir got the name Sai. When the marriage party came to Shirdi, it alighted at the foot of the banyan tree in Bhagata Halaspati's field near Kandoba's temple. The carts were loosened in open courtyard of Kandoba's temple, and the members of the party descended one by one, and the fakir also got down. Bhagat Halaspati saw the young fakir getting down and accosted him. Yes, Sai, welcome Sai. Others also addressed him as Sai, and henceforth he became to known as Sai Baba. Contact with other saints. Sai Baba began to stay in a deserted masjid. One saint named Devi Das was living in Shirdi many years before Baba came there. Baba liked his company. He stayed with him in the Maruti temple in the Chavadi and sometime lived alone. Then came another saint by the name Janaki Das. Baba spent most of his time in talking with him, or Janaki Das went to Baba's residence. So also one Vaishya householder saint from Putambe by the name Ganga Gir always frequented Shirdi. When he first saw Sai Baba carrying pitchers of water in both hands for watering the garden, he was amazed and said openly, "Blessed is Shirdi that it got this precious jewel." This man is carrying water today, but he is not an ordinary fellow, as this land, Shirdi, was lucky and meritorious. It secured this jewel. So, also one famous saint by name Anand Nath of Yewala Math, a disciple of Akalkot Maharaj, came to Shirdi with some Shirdi people. When he saw Sai Baba, he said openly, "This is a precious diamond in reality. Though he looks like an ordinary man, he is not an eager, ordinary stone, but a diamond. You will realize this in the near future." Saying this, he returned to Yewala. This was said while Sai Baba was a youngster. Baba's dress and daily routine. In these young days, Sai Baba grew hair on his head, never had his head shaved. He dressed like an athlete. When he went to Rahata, 3 miles from Shirdi, he brought with him small plants of marigold, jai, and jui, and after cleaning, he planted and watered them. A devotee by name Vaman Tatya supplied him daily with 2 earthen pitchers. With these, Baba himself used to water the plants. He drew water from the well and carried the pitchers on his shoulders. In the evening, the pitchers were kept at the foot of a neem tree. As soon as they were placed there, they were broken, as they made of raw earth, not baked. Next day, Tatya supplied 2 fresh pitchers. This, of course, went on for 3 years, and with Sai Baba's toil and labor, they grew a flower garden. On this site, a present day, stands a big mansion, Samadhi Mandir of Baba, which is now frequented and used by so many devotees. The story of Padukas, footprints under the neem tree. A devotee of Akalkot Maharaj by name Bhai Krishnaji Alibagkar worshipped the photo of Akalkot Maharaj. He once thought of going to Akalkot, Sholapur district, taking the darshana of the Padukas, footprints of the Maharaj, and offering his sincere worship there. But before he could go there, he got a vision in his dream. Akalkot Maharaj appeared in the vision and said to him, "Now, Shirdi is my resting place. Go there and offer your worship." So, Bai changed his plan and came to Shirdi, worshipped Baba, stayed there for 6 months, and was happy. As a reminiscence of this vision, etc., he prepared the Padukas and installed them on an auspicious day of Shravan, Sakha, 1834, which is 1912 AD, under the neem tree with due ceremonies and formalities conducted by Dada Kelkar and Upasani. One Dikshit Brahmin was appointed for worship, and the management was entrusted to devotee Shagun. Complete version of the story. Mr. B.V. Dio, retired Mamaldar of Thana and a great devotee of Sai Baba, made enquired about this matter with Shagun Meru Naik and Govind Kamalkar Dikshit and has published a full version of the Padukas in Sai Leela, Volume 11, Number 1, page 5. It runs as follows. In 1834, Saka, that is 1912 AD, one Dr. Ramarao Kotre of Bombay came to Shirdi for Baba's darshana. His compounder and his friend Bhai Krishnaji Alibakar accompanied him. The compounder and Bhai became intimate with Shagun Meru Naik and G.K. Dixit. While discussing things, these persons thought that there must be some memorial of the fact of Sai Baba's first coming to Shirdi and sitting under the holy tree. They thought of installing Baba's Padukar there and were going to make them of some rough stones. Then Bai's friend, the compounder, suggested that if this matter be made known to his master, Mr. Ramarao Kothare, who would prepare nice padukas for this purpose. All liked the proposal, and Dr. Kothare was informed about it. He came to Shirdi and drew a plan of the padukas. He went to Upasani Maharaj in Kandoba's temple and showed him his plan. The latter made many improvements, drew lotuses, flowers, conch, disc, man, etc., and suggested that the following shloka, verse regarding neem tree's greatness and Baba's yogic powers be inscribed. The verse was as follows. सदा निम्बर्वृक्षस्य मूलादिवसत् सुदास्रविनयं तिक्तमापि अपरियं तारुं कल्पवृक्षादिकं सदायन्तं नमामीश्वरं सद्गुरुं साईनाथम्. Upasani's suggestions were accepted and carried out. The Padukas were made in Bombay and sent to Shirdi with the compounder. Baba said that they should be installed on the Purnima, 15th of Shravan, on the day at 11 a.m. G.K. Dixit brought them on his head from Kandoba's temple to the Dwaraka Mai Masjid in procession. Baba touched the Padukas, saying that these are the feet of the Lord, and asked the people to install them under the foot of the neem tree. A day before, one Parsi devotee of Bombay named Pasta Sheikh sent rupees 25 by money order. Baba gave this sum for the installation of the Padukas. The total expense of installation came up to rupees 100, out of which rupees 75 were collected by subscriptions. For the first 5 years, G.K. Dikshit worshipped the Padukas daily, and then this was done by Lakshman Kacheshwar Jakadi. In the first 5 years, Dr. Kotare sent rupees 2 per month for lighting, and he also sent the railing around the Padukas. The expense of bringing the railing from the station to Shirdi, rupees 780, presently rupees 7 and 50 paisa, and roofing was paid by Shagun Meru Naik. Now, Jakadi, Nana Pujari, does the worship, and Shagun Meru Naik offers the Naivedya and lights the evening lamps. Bhai Krishna ji was originally a devotee of Akalkot Maharaj. He had come to Shirdi at installation of the Padukas in Saka 1834 on his way to Akalkot. He wanted to go to Akalkot after taking the darshana of Baba. He asked Baba's permission for this. Baba said, "Oh, what is there in Akalkot? Why do you go there? The incumbent Maharaj of that place is here, myself." Hearing this, Bhai did not go to Akalkot. He came to Shirdi off and on after the installation of the Padukas. Mr. B.V. Dio concluded that Hemanpad did not know these details. Had been known then, he would not have failed to depict them in his Sai Satcharitra. Wrestling bout with Mohiddin Tamboli and change in life. To return to the other stories of Baba, there was a wrestler in Shirdi by the name Mohiddin Tamboli. Baba and he did not agree on some items and both had a fight. In this, Baba was defeated. Henceforth, Baba changed his dress and mode of living. He donned kafni, wore a langot waistband, and covered his head with a piece of cloth. He took a piece of sackcloth for his seat, sackcloth for his bed, and was content with wearing torn and worn out rags. He always said that poverty is better than kingship, far better than lordship. The Lord is always brother, befriender of the poor. Ganga Gir was also very fond of wrestling. While he was once wrestling, a similar feeling of dispassion came over him, and at the proper time, he heard the voice of an adept saying that he should wear out his body playing with God. So he too gave up samsara and turned towards God realization. He established a mutt on the banks of the river near Putambe and lived there with his disciples. Sai Baba did not mix and speak with the people. He only gave answers when he was questioned. By day, he always sat under the neem tree, sometimes under the shade of the branch of a babul tree near the stream at the outskirts of the village. In the afternoon, he used to walk at random and go at times to Nimgaon. There, he frequented the house of Bala Sahib Bengale. Baba loved Mr. Bala Sahib. His younger brother, named Nana Sahib, had no son. Though he married a second wife, Bala Sahib sent Nana Sahib for taking darshana of Sai Baba, and after some time, with his grace, Nana Sahib got a son. From that time onwards, people began to come in numbers to see Sai Baba, and his fame began to spread and reached Ahmednagar. From thence, Nana Sahib Chandorkar and Keshav Chitambre and many others began to come to Shirdi. Baba was surrounded by his devotees during the day and slept at night in an old and dilapidated masjid. Baba's paraphernalia at this time consisted of a chill, tobacco, and a thermal 10-point, low flowing kafani, long flowy kafani, a piece of cloth around his head, and a satka, short stick, which he always kept with him. The piece of white cloth on the head was twisted and matted hair and flowed down from the left ear on the back. This was not washed for weeks. He wore no shoes, no sandals. A piece of sackcloth was his seat for most of the day. He wore a cowpin, waist cloth band, and for warding off cold, he always sat in front of the duni, the sacred fire, facing south with his left hand resting on the wooden railing. In that dhuni, he offered as obligation, egoism, desires, and all thoughts, and always uttered Allah Malik, God is the sole owner. The masjid in which he sat was only of two-room dimensions, where all devotees came and saw him. After 1912 AD, there was a change. The old masjid was repaired and the pavement was constructed. Before Baba came to live in this masjid, he lived for a long time in a place, Takiya, where, with gunguru, small bells on his legs, Baba danced beautifully, sang with tender love, turning water into oil. Sai Baba was very fond of lights. He used to borrow oil from shopkeepers and keep lamps burning the whole night in the masjid and temple. This went on for some time. The Baniyas who supplied the oil gratis once met together and decided not to give him oil. When, as usual, Baba went to ask for oil, they all gave him a distinct no. Unperturbed, Baba returned to the masjid and kept the dry wicks in the lamps. The Baniyas were watching him with curiosity. Baba took the tumbril, tin pot, which contained very little, a few drops of oil, put water into it, and drank it, and forced it fall in the container. After consecrating this tin pot in this way, he again took water in the tin pot, filled all the lamps with it, and lightened them. To the surprise and dismay of watching Baniyas, the lamp began to burn and kept burning the whole night. Baniyas repented and apologized. Baba forgave them and asked them to be more truthful in the future. The pseudo guru Jawahar Ali, 5 years after the wrestling bout mentioned above, one fakir from Ahmednagar by the name Jawahar Ali came to Rahata with his disciples and stayed in Bakal, spacious room near Veerabhadra temple. The fakir was learned, could repeat the whole Quran, and had a sweet tongue. Many religious and devout people of the village came to him and began to respect him. With the help of the people, he started to build an idgah, a wall before which Mohammedans pray on Iddah day, near the Veerabhadra temple. There was some quarrel about this affair, on account of which Jawahar Ali had to leave Rahata. Then he came to Shirdi and lived in the masjid with Baba. People were captured by his sweet talk, and he began to call Baba his disciple. Baba did not object and consented to be his chela. Then both Guru and chela decided to return to Rahata and live there. The Guru, teacher, never knew his disciple's worth, but the disciple knew the defects of the Guru. Still, he never disrespected him, observing carefully his duties. He even served the master in various ways. They used to come to Shirdi off and on, but their mainstay was in Rahata. The loving devotees of Baba in Shirdi did not like that Baba should stay away from them in Rahata. So they went to the deputation to bring Baba back to Shirdi. When they met Baba near the Idgah and told the purpose for which they came, Baba said to them that the fakir was an ill tempered fellow. He would not leave him and that they should better return to Shirdi without him. Before the fakir returned. While they were thus discussing, the fakir turned up and was very angry with them for trying to take away his disciple. There was some discussions and altercation, and it was finally decided that both the Guru and Chala should return to Shirdi. They also returned and lived in Shirdi. But after a few days, the Guru was tested by Devidas and he was found wanting. 12 years before Baba arrived in Shirdi with a marriage party, this Devidas, aged about 10 or 11, came to Shirdi and lived in the Maruti temple. Devidas had fine features and brilliant eyes. He was dispassion incarnate of a jnani. Many persons, namely Tatya Kote, Kashinath, and others regard him as their guru. They bought Jawahar Ali in his presence, and in the discussion that followed, Jawahar was worsted and fled from Shirdi. He went and stayed in Bijapur and returned after many years to Shirdi and prostrated himself before Sai Baba. The delusion that he was Guru and Sai Baba his Chela was cleared away, and as he repented, Sai Baba treated him with respect. In this case, Sai Baba showed by actual conduct how one should get rid of egoism and do the duties of a disciple to attain the highest end, that is, self realization. This story is told here according to the version given by Halaspati, a great devotee of Baba. In the next chapter will be described Ramanavami festival, the masjid, its former condition, and later